on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu, and tonight I'm here with
Inu Safo.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes, the High Court in Tamale enjoins Dr. Mahama Kabiru from holding himself as NPP parliamentary candidate for Wali Wali following disagreements after the primaries. Also coming up, and in Ododo here in Accra, a former NDC parliamentary aspirant arrested for slapping one of the party executives. And later on Eyewitness News, as a jostling for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's running mate continues, we hear from Communications Minister and MP for Ablekuma West, Esla Osuekufu, who is advising against what appears to be the push for a running mate. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
stakeholders within agricultural sector reject government's policy to reverse 5% of produce as buffer from PFJ Phase 2.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. And also on Eyewitness News, we'll be hearing from the Attorney General. He's in the UK, where he's saying that the NDC's case in the ambulance case involving case Latufos and Atunsium. Listen to him.
Within a matter of 2 days, when we started our cross-examination of the person who was spreading all those lies, you see how the matter is going. The case has come, as the president will say, case Atunsium.
So that's something we're talking about here on Eyewitness News. You can join the conversation by going on YouTube. There's a Citi FM channel there. Subscribe and also click on the bell so that anytime we are on live, you get a notification and listen. We are also on our website, citinewsroom.com. We are on DSTV, and we are also on a host of affiliate stations. For instance, in Ahafo region, we are on Hammers Radio 106.5, that's in Goso. And in Ashanti region, we are on Alpha Radio 104.9 in Kumasi. In the same Kumasi, we are on Orange 107.9 FM. These are both in the Ashanti region. In the Volta region, we are on Global 105.1 FM in Ho. We are on Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. We are in the northern region on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In Upper West, we are on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In Upper East, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, we are on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nakpanduri. If you go to the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Western region, we are on Premier 100.5 FM in Takrady, Sky Power 93.5 FM in Takrady, and Beach 105.5 FM also in Takrady. You can send your messages to the show 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996. That's the platform you should send your messages to. You can also go on X, formerly known as Twitter. Send your message there using my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. Let's start off from the United Kingdom, where the Vice President and NPP parliamentary candidate is doing a tour and also doing a fundraising get-together and engagements as part of the campaign process for election 2024. He's there with some government officials, including the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dami, who, when it was his turn to speak, spoke about how the opposition NDC has handled the ambulance case that has Kaisalato Forsin and two others standing trial. Richard Jakpa's tape, you remember, was a very prominent issue a few weeks ago. Today, the AG, who was caught in that secret recording with Richard Jakpa, has been explaining how the NDC intended to milk that particular issue, but when it came to it, there was nothing out of it, he says. Listen to him.
So I'm saying that we should resist all the lies, deception, and deceit of the NDC. And indeed, that's their stock in trade. And I personally, I can attest to that. Yes, we've been around. We're in Ghana, and of course, we've been in UK. My brother who lives in London called me anxiously last time he entered a barber shop. And so, talking about the Attorney General. They didn't know that the Attorney General's brother was next in line for his head to be cut. And all that. So what's happening? This young gentleman that they admire and all that. But again, the lies, deception, and the deceit of the NDC was at work. And within a matter of 2 days, when we started our cross-examination of the person who was spreading all those lies, you see how the matter is going. Their case has come, as the president will say, case now Tunsu. So indeed, we should resist the deception, lies, and NDC. They'll come with all kinds of presentation about every major action or step being taken by this government. And therefore, we should go on the...
That's Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dami. Let's go on the phone lines. Eduji Kujo Tamaklo is Head of Legal Affairs of the National Democratic Congress. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Omaru. Good evening and good evening to your listeners.
Good evening to you, Council. Your party called a press conference. You made so much noise about the Richard Jakpa tape. You played the 16-minute tape. We played it here on our network. You gave us an assurance that it was the last nail that will be used in destroying the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dami. Today he's in the UK and he says it was much ado about nothing, and that when he came to it in court during cross-examination, within 2 days, he demolished your witness or the person who you were relying on who did the recording to be the one who destroyed the AG. What's your comment?
Okay, so Omaru, just for the record, from the time we set up this current constitutional arrangement, no Attorney General has been strongly advised by a sitting High Court judge, in fact, a Court of Appeal judge with additional High Court responsibility. No Attorney General has gone through such a situation. What exactly are the issues? The National Democratic Congress, led by its national chairman, organized a press conference. And in this press conference, a 15-minute audio record was played, right? Now, immediately after this, the NPP also organized a press conference led by the chair of this Constitutional and Legal Committee, Mr. Frank Davis. What was their response? That the audio recording played by the national chairman is doctored, pieced together. Now, one would expect that having made a categorical statement that the audio recording is doctored, that is fictitious, is of dubious validity, when you get the benefit in court, you cover the same reason. Now, the lawyers for Mr. Atufo's doctor decided to have this audio recording tendered to Mr. Richard Jaffa in the ongoing trial. That day, the Director of Public Prosecution objected to the admissibility of this audio recording. The Director of Public Prosecution objected to this tendering on 3 grounds. 1, that insufficient foundation has not, or insufficient, foundation. 2, that it was not relevant. 3, that the audio recording was done in violation of the Attorney General rights guaranteed under Article 18(2). Nowhere in the objection of the learned DPP did she say that 1, the voice on the recording is not that of Mr. Godfrey Yebuatame. Nowhere did the DPP say that the audio recording, for whatever it's worth, is doctored or pieced together. So now, between the national chairman of the NDC, who led the press conference, and my learned senior, Frank Davis, who said the audio recording is doctored, who should be called, in the words of Godfrey Dame, as lying? He, Mr. Godfrey Dame, have had the benefit, obviously having ignored the wise counsel of the learned trial judge, at least to abstain from the trial. He still came. When the objection was taken, he had the benefit of telling the DPP that, say, that is not my voice. Say that the representations on the audio recordings are doctored. None of these things featured in the objection raised in court. Suffice to say that the learned trial judge, in her wisdom, admitted the audio recording. Which judge would admit a doctored case in evidence? Which judge would do that? You see, there is this street conversation that you can't shame the shameless. You can't shame the shameless. If Mr. Godfrey Yebuatame has any scintilla or any understanding of what shame is, he will not be talking in London on this matter. In fact, he should be the one calling for a truce. The case that is ongoing now, it looks like it is Godfrey Dame who is on trial. I mean, nobody. I mean, look, if you listen to the testimony in court, and I've always maintained, Umaru, if you're a man, what you do is that you take the witness stand and you swear an oath that you tell the truth, the whole truth. Certainly, Mr. Godfrey Dame is a coward. He is afraid. He is afraid of perjury because he is not certain what more Richard Japa has on him. I will use your platform to tell him that the national chairman of the NDC, in the person of Johnson Asidu Inkitia, is a very methodical person. And I remember this. When this state issue came, he said, listen, I want all the necessary authentication be done. I want to see transcript of it. The University of Ghana did transcribe everything. He went through himself, satisfied himself of the validity and how authentic the audio recording is before he put his face to it. So when I heard my senior Frank David made that comment, I laughed. I said, senior, you can't defend this without disgracing yourself. And lo and behold, today as we speak, Mr. Dami is saying that something is happening in court. I think he can go to London and make those kind of comments. I mean, those who are in London with respect may not have the full benefits of the record of the court. Please, he should disengage. He should disengage. But the Attorney General is still cross-examining Richard Japa. Let's see how it is. And I'm really, really, really surprised that the Attorney General will sit somewhere in London and say, under cross-examination, whatever has been exposed to be lies. Seriously? So when he and Richard Japa, on the night of 25th March 2024, met in the house of the respected Supreme Court judge, is he saying that is also a lie? Look, if Mr. Godfrey Adame has any appreciation of professional misconduct, this is one. Omaro, you must always appreciate that an accused person is a vulnerable person. And that is why you notice that in the professional rules and the etiquette rules for lawyers, conversation with, in this specific case, an accused person is forbidden. The reason is simple. An accused person is a vulnerable person. An accused person is like a person with a sword of Damocles hanging over his neck. And so therefore, there's always a higher probability or even possibility that any offer made to him, he will easily take it. And that is why communication with an accused person must be done through the lawyer. When Mr. Godfrey Adame met Richard Japa, and in fact, on the 9th of April, when he called him in the morning, the basis of that 60-minute audio conversation, Mr. Tadosori had appeared in court on the 26th day of March 2024. So based on this timeline, Mr. Godfrey Adame knows that he was engaged in professional misconduct. In fact, if you listen to the audio, he himself came to the point where he said, Richard, I hope nobody is recording. If the Attorney General was doing what is right, why was he worried as to whether anybody was recording him or not? This bravery from a safe distance should be dismissed with alacrity. You leave Ghana, you go to London, and now start making noise. If he's a man, nothing precludes him from taking the witness stand that I am a man, I am Godfrey Adame, the leader of the bar, the Attorney General of the Republic, I am taking the witness stand. In any case, you have not disputed that there was a meeting between your good self, Richie Japa, and the respected Justice of the Supreme Court. You have not denied it. So my question to him is, in the absence of any denial on oath from him, which of these stories should be believed? In any case, Richard Japa is under oath. He is testifying under oath at the risk of perjury. The one who cannot master the necessary courage to take the oath is rather out there in London blabbing. Please.
My question to you would be, since you introduced this audio in the public and succeeded in getting it accepted in the court, how has it helped your case?
Thankfully, the skill set I have does not permit me to do what you call what weight to place on a testimony or not. My work as defense attorney in this matter is to introduce the evidence and establish the materiality with the issues in contention. As to what weight, what inferences to be drawn, that is exclusively reserved for the trial judge. At this point, I must say, I do not have the necessary skill set, the necessary competence to do that inferential exercise. That's for the judge exclusively. I can only persuade by way of what the nature of the evidence that I have done. The rest is for the judge to do.
Very well. There's another...
I do not know that Mr. Gofredani, right, has the capacity, as you testify, as Mr. Japa is still in the witness box, to give conclusive as to how the mind of the judge will be. How he came by that, whether by clairvoyance or anything, I do not know. And I want to leave him to dabble in that realm. But the national chairman of the NDC did a press conference, played the audio. That audio was taken to court. The objections that were taken had nothing to do with the claim by the NPP that it was doctored. Look, in any serious democracy, what you media people should be doing is to be calling my learned senior, Frank Davis, and persons who, as it were, related his narrative, that in the face of this audio having been admitted, do you still stand by your claim that it is doctored? That is what you do. There must be a certain level of accountability, even to us who speak through your media. I'm sure that significantly appears to be a failure. If not, why would you even want to do that?
Finally, there's this issue about your side presenting a WhatsApp chat that Richie Japa had with the Attorney General, and that you sent only the part that serves your purpose. And there was a whole debate in the courtroom on whether or not the whole WhatsApp chat should be admitted. It turns out there were 66 messages and you sent only 2? Disingenuous or a strategy?
First of all, the NDC claim is that, unlike the claim by the NPP, and in fact, Assassin Radio, Assassin Online and Co., that Gofredani was entrapped by a justice of the Supreme Court. We needed to show, by way of the WhatsApp chat, the direct connection, that the person who said, I shall arrange through your cover, was not Japa, but Gofredani. That was a chat by way of the WhatsApp that was materially germane to establish that particular claim. Nothing more, nothing else. In the court, the Attorney General decided to produce about 60-something chart, which is the one says, well, the chart, it doesn't look like that's the number. That's between the two of them. These are not my charts. But at least we have shown a chart that establishes clearly, and the Attorney General has not denied it, that he sent a chart to Richard Japa telling him that you arrange through his cast. How therefore can you arrange something through someone and turn around and say you have been entrapped? This cock and bull story. What decent democracy would tolerate this gross misconduct? If any serious jurisdiction, the Attorney General by now should be going through serious professional investment. Look, and you see, sometimes we look at some of these things and we just brush. I am sure if Edigi is the one who has conducted himself or misconducted himself in this manner, you would have heard some seasoned lawyers. This is unbecoming. This is unprofessional. This is gross misconduct. But because it's the Attorney General, moral voices are quiet. They are quiet. Is it not strange, Umar? Is it not so strange that in all of this, the Ghana Bar Association is quiet? It's like nothing has happened. Posterity is waiting for all of us.
I thought the last
and
time...
we deal with us regrettably harshly, Umar.
I thought the last time there was a suggestion that there's an NDC Bar Association and then the Ghana Bar Association. When you met with the former president, was it in the central region? It was suggested that there are members of the Ghana Bar who are aligned towards the NDC. Is that like a serious thing, or was this a conversation made in jest? And perhaps could that association then take up the call for what you are demanding?
The last time I checked, the 1992 Constitution guarantees freedom of association. Anybody who has any sympathy for the NDC has the constitutionally guaranteed right to associate with it in any form or shape. In any case, the NDC, having been so registered under the Political Parties Act and the laws of this Republic of Ghana, permits our members to form any form of association. So, if you're a medical doctor associated with the NDC, you are permitted to form an association to champion the cause of the party. That same thing reflects with lawyers associated with it. So if you have heard something like that, you have heard right, Omaru.
Let's leave it here. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
I appreciate the opportunity, sir.
That's Eduji Kujo Tamaklu. He's head of the Legal Affairs Department or Directorate of the National Democratic Congress. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
One of the best decisions you can possibly make at the start of your day is to tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show. Insightful, intriguing, intelligent, and informative. The Citi Breakfast Show offers an attractive alternative to the noisy mishmash of morning radio. Tune in to the Citi Breakfast Show for passionate discussions on issues that matter and enjoy interviews where duty bearers and decision makers have their feet held to the fire. The Citi Breakfast Show airs from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday to Friday, only on 97.3 Citi FM.
Boy, Hey! We have a new leader in town. Obiarentie. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe mamu more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe mamu lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal Pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Zilis Dwayne sends a message from London and says AG should resign and must be prosecuted. Jones Adeboinla says, I'm so shocked and surprised that the Attorney General chose to go on this tangent. Elsewhere, Gofredami would have ceased to be Attorney General. The fact that he was caught on the tape discussing a pending case is enough. Akapo Jr. and Havomim says, the Attorney General under no circumstance should make that prejudicial statement. It does not lie in his mouth to say the case of the accused person has fallen into water. Al-Hassan Hamdan from New Uni South says, the media should ask Dami for the original tape which his party director of legal and party organizer said was doctored. Concerned Citizen says, it is crucial for public officials like Ghana's Attorney General to approach cases with seriousness and diligence, particularly when it involves public resources like ambulances. Dismissing such cases as Aton Siomu can undermine accountability and erode public trust. Brilliant Fahad Ibn Okujetu in Central Town says, it is very surprising that the Attorney General, Gofredami, still has got to be commenting on the ambulance case saga after his machinations against the minority leader Tofosin was recorded and made public. Goffred should be ashamed of himself. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Your message too can come through 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Now, the High Court sitting in Tamale has issued an injunction, placed an injunction against Dr. Mahama Tia Kabiru and restraining him from holding himself as the elected parliamentary candidate of the New Patriotic Party for the Waliwali constituency in the Northeast region. Justice Richard Kujapau delivered the ruling following a challenge to the election results by the incumbent Member of Parliament Hajia Lariba Zuweratu, who took the issue to court after losing the primaries, alleging overvoting. In March, the court granted the MPP's request to resolve the impasse out of court and report back on the terms of resolution. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
The NDC Odododio parliamentary aspirant who was disqualified during the NDC primaries, Michael Niyaboy, has been arrested after a bench warrant was issued against him. Michael Niyaboy is facing criminal charges of assault for allegedly slapping a resident of Jamestown and a branch executive of the NDC in Odododio. Prosecution in the case, however, reported him to the Dansoman Circuit Court for what they believe is a deliberate attempt by Mr. Yaboy to evade the court proceedings. The case was called for hearing on Thursday, June 20 at the Dansoman Court. The court was, however, forced to adjourn the case to June 24. But when the case was called today, the accused was not present in court. Police prosecutor handling the case revealed in court that his outfit has information that the accused is deliberately ignoring the directives of the court to be present there. The court then issued a bench warrant for his arrest after the police prosecutor made a plea. Sources close to the prosecution have revealed that Michael Yaboy has since been arrested after the bench warrant was issued by the court. The case has been adjourned to July 8, 2024.
Let's go on the phone lines and speak to Jonathan Nikome. He is a Wall Street branch executive of the NDC in the Ododo constituency. Join us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Can you confirm that you are the slappee in this particular case?
Yes, please.
Why were you slapped? And who slapped you? And when did he slap you?
Yeah, at Jamestown. At Jamestown, Golden Boutique, around I think last month on the 8th May. I was sitting there when he came from his car. He just came from his car. Give me a dirty slap. And he told me this is the beginning.
Who is this slapper?
I was having a discussion with, argument with one of his members. And a week before the incident occurred, we were having, I was then supporting Okanlai, and he supporting Mr. Anna. You know, the confrontation to go, when we were arguing, we were making argument. The guy went and told me that I was insulting him. I'm insulting him. So, the 1 week later, they came give me the dirty slap and told me this is just the beginning.
Now, so it means that there was something that sparked this slap. You had an earlier encounter or engagement with him.
Yeah, I was not with him, with one of his supporters.
Did you assault that supporter verbally or physically?
No, I did not.
What did you do to him?
I did not do anything to him. We were already arguing. He told me that where's my candidate? Okanlai has run away from Ododo country. And I also told him that how about his candidate, the one who is also supporting Trump. He also has gone to Eyewitness to make campaign for your mama 24-hour economy. That's where the whole thing started.
But this,
I did not insult him.
You did not insult him. But this gentleman, he's no more in the race. He was disqualified. Is he not the one who was disqualified?
Yes, but the way you doing the constituency was rough. The way people is insulting people. Just even last week, see what one of his supporters did to Honorable Nilan Tevanda. He insulted him rough. So what? They are attacking Nilan Tevanda point? They also attack him and there's no respect for anybody in the constituency. And you that Mr. Anna, I was the one who brought you to the party. I was the one who brought you from FPP to the end.
I see. Interesting. So you reported this to the police?
Yes, I reported it to the police.
Is it not an internal NDC matter? You could have solved it?
No. I even had attack over there. I even had attack. Asthmatic and that problem. Even I've been going there. That day, I wouldn't do anything.
You said the slap was dirty. How bad was it? Did you dislocate your jaw, maybe?
No, he stand on me rough, hard one. Very, very hard one.
How many slaps?
He gave me one slap and stabbed me. There's a bench in front of, there's a bench in front of me. And the small table, they use that one to hit me.
Did you have any physical injuries?
Yes.
Describe them.
Oh, well, now, about ever since the thing started, I've had a shot more than 5 times.
Yeah, but I mean, by the slap, did it leave any marks on your body?
Yes. Right now, if you are talking to me, don't shout loudly, I cannot hear.
Both ears or one ear?
1 ear.
Which one?
Oh, the left one.
So he slapped you on your left cheek?
One, yes. And even 31st, the one thing I also feared is that he said this is the beginning. 31st January, he sent his people to come attack me in the house. And on the 8th, he slapped me. I don't know the next. And all the time, he's having gun on with him.
Jonathan, you said he slapped your left cheek and your left ear is having problems. Is he left-handed? Because I'm wondering how he would have slapped you with the left hand.
The left side of The year.
Why, is he left-handed or he slapped you from behind? Apologies. We lost Jonathan Nikome. He is a Wall Street branch executive of the NDC in the Odododio constituency. He was narrating for us that assault on him. He was slapped, he says, by a member of the NDC as well. Which NDC member, was supposed to have been a parliamentary candidate. So it was a parliamentary aspirant. He was disqualified. His name is Michael Niyaboy. And so he's been arrested after a bench warrant was issued against him for allegedly slapping this Jonathan Nikome. Let me just finish the conversation with Jonathan. He's back on the line. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying, if he's not left-handed, how did he slap your left cheek?
No, he used his right hand to slap me.
Yeah, but if he's facing you and he's slapping with your right hand, okay, that makes sense. He slapped your left cheek. That makes sense. I've got it now. I've got the picture. So have you gone to the hospital?
Yeah, I've been to the hospital.
What did the doctors say? They gave you medicine?
Yeah, they've given me the medicine. They write a lot of medicine to me, and I'm using it.
Okay. Now, you also said that he's threatened you a number of times and even attacked you sometimes. You also said he has a gun.
Yes, he has a gun.
Is it a licensed gun?
I don't know of that.
Okay. Have you reported to the police that he has a gun?
Yes, I reported to the police.
Okay. Now that he's been arrested, you feel safe, don't you?
Yes, yes, I'm safe.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And wish you a speedy recovery. But meanwhile, is NDC strong in Odododio?
He said it's NDC, yes, he's strong.
Are you sure you can win the seat? Yes. Nilante is not going. You have a new candidate. You have a former aspirant who's been arrested.
I should vote is going to win, hands down, by 20,000 margin difference.
Is that not too ambitious?
Oh, it's true.
So NDC is strong. Is Nilante campaigning for you?
Oh yeah, well, I've not seen it. I don't think he has started yet. Definitely join the campaign train.
You're very positive.
Yes, positive.
The last election, on election day, there was a lot of violence in Odododio. We are even yet to get to the election. You're already having violence, and this one is even from your party alone. What assurances and guarantees can you give us about safety and peace in Odododio?
Oh, for what I can tell you that with this issue, I know personally what this guy wanted to do. But if you are able to track him down, everything will go well.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us. That's Jonathan Nikome. He's Wall Street branch executive of the NDC in the Odododio constituency of Accra. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Eno, what else do you have?
The Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West constituency, Ursula Owusu-Ekofol, has expressed her disapproval of the idea of lobbying to be the running mate to the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. According to her, such actions are disrespectful and undermine the decision-making authority of the presidential nominee. In an interview with Bernard Avle on the City Breakfast Show, the Communication Minister emphasized the importance of allowing Dr. Bawumia the freedom to make his choice without external pressure.
Is that a position you lobby or gun for? I am absolutely against any active seeking of any such position. It's an appointed position. I think the flag bearer should be left and given the space to decide who he thinks can best partner him in both the elections and in governance, because we are breaking the 8. So people may speculate. But me, as Lowusu, I haven't told anybody that I'm interested in any position. If the flag bearer thinks in his wisdom that I can assist him in this position, why not? But I'm certainly not putting myself out
there. So when your
there.
name is thrown into the mix in the media, do you feel the need to come out and say, I didn't put my name out there?
No media person can ever say anywhere that I have contacted him to put my name out there, or anybody for that matter. I think the flag bearer should be given the space to choose who he thinks can best partner him in this. It would be great if a female is chosen.
That was the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West constituency, Ursula Owusu Ekofol. Still on that interview, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization has denied claims that telecommunications giant MTN Ghana has been excluded from the country's 5G deal. Her comment comes in response to recent debates among stakeholders who believe MTN's dominance in the telecom industry should warrant its inclusion in the 5G contract. Speaking in an interview with the City Breakfast Show host Bernard Avler, the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Ursula Owusu Ekofol, assured that the government is committed to involving all telecommunications networks in the 5G deal.
I don't know who created that impression. Somebody threw it out there, and nobody spoke to me or any of those involved in putting this consortium together before throwing this false alarm out there. It's not true.
So you can set on record that they will be.
Absolutely. I said discussions are ongoing.
So that means they'll own part of the next gen infraco?
All network operators in the country are being offered the opportunity to take up equity in this next gen infraco. All of them, including MTN.
I see. So that means that just a matter of time. But have they expressed interest? Have they said to you they'll do it?
They've definitely expressed interest.
Because some feel like if they are not part, it will be tough as well because they've invested a lot in 4G. And since obviously 5G is the next level, some of the companies involved like AT and Vodafone may not have had the level of investment of MTN. So for all of us as an industry, it's good to have MTN to be part of that. But
that has always been the plan.
She further stated that Next Gen Infraco was not set up for merely the rollout of the 5G network, but also to provide nationwide access to 4G.
Now, this Next Gen Infraco is going to do nationwide 4G and 5G as well. It's not just 5G. It's going to do nationwide 4G as well to provide a platform for any entity which also wants to utilize that infrastructure to deliver their services. But
that would be difficult for MTN to agree, don't you think? Because if I'm already doing 4G, there's a company that's coming, consortium, to do both 4G and 5G. They are competing with me on one hand. And yes, we're going to work together on the 5G.
They are all competing against each other.
So you don't see a problem there?
I don't see a problem in there. Now, if their network is congested and they need additional capacity, they can also fall on this to provide them with that capacity to extend their services to other parts of the country.
Ursula Owusu Ekofol is the Minister for Communications and Digitalization. The Deputy Director General of the National Sports Authority, Bawa Majid, has refuted allegations that the Boteman Sports Complex was rented out for a church service. A viral video on social media shows a church service taking place in one of the domes of the $145 million multi-purpose facility. The video has sparked concerns about the facility's maintenance. In an interview with City News, Mr. Bawa Majid clarified that the NSA did not authorize the church service.
It wasn't given out for a church service. And this thing happened on the 1st of June. It isn't that somebody has given the place out for a church service. No. After the program, a number of people have wrote to us that they want to use it for their program, their church service, and we refuse. So this was an exceptional case. There are a lot of letters on our file that people want to, particularly the dome, because they feel that the place is big enough and they want to use it for their weekly church service. And we did not agree because the place was not built for church services. So that is the whole truth about the matter. It wasn't that the authority was aware that it was supposed to be a church program and they deliberately give it out for a church program. They said they wanted to organize a tour of the facility as part of their fun game trips. That was the basis upon which we released the facility. We allowed them access for the facility. And during the tour, I was there. And when they requested that they want to, a deputy minister was coming to give them a lecture on leadership. So I felt that it will enhance their program. So why not? So I allowed them access.
You heard the Deputy Director General of the National Sports Authority, Bawa Majid. Now, the Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has filed a right to information request demanding some disclosure on Rock City Group, the company buying shares in hotels owned by Social Security and National Insurance Trust. The MP, who led a protest against the sale of 60% shares in 4 SNIT hotels to Rock City, owned by a Greek minister, Brian Champong, is demanding evidence of the company's GRA tax clearance certificate. He questioned the validity of the certificate presented since the company has failed to file its tax returns for 2021 and 2022. Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa is also demanding a full disclosure of the evaluation report on Rock City Group, as well as minutes of all tender committee meetings. For the North Tong legislator, it is important that SNIT complies with the RTI law and submits the requested information in support of transparency and accountability. Now, travellers relying on the sole bridge connecting Enchi and Elubo at Boinso in the Awin municipality of the Western North region have been left stranded after the bridge collapsed over the weekend. The chief of Boinso, Nana Kwejumia, along with frustrated residents and travellers, expressed their concern about the collapse, which has brought business and daily life to a standstill. They have urgently appealed to the government to repair the bridge immediately.
Slabai, Yanagu Fomo, Nana Kojomia the second, the third, Ameya Buensoyene.
As the leader in this community, I implore the government to assist us. They must expedite the repair of this bridge. The current state of affairs has caused a standstill in economic activities in this locality.
Investment. Yes, Rabbi. Yasim Tiawa. Enna Echinachi. Omea Bridge for Floro.
You heard the chief of Boinsu, Nana Kojo Mia. The ongoing jury strike has significantly impacted the trial of the 2 boys accused of killing a 10-year-old boy in Kaswa, along with other high-profile cases. The jurors have been on strike since May 16, 2024, due to non-payment of allowances. The strike has affected several murder trials, including the Gregory Afoko case, the J.B. Dankar trial, and the Abasim murder trial. The second accused person in the Kaswa ritual killing case, Nicholas Kinney, closed his defense on February 14, 2024. The court only needs to hear addresses from the prosecution and the defense lawyers, followed by the judges summing up for the jury to deliberate and return with their verdict. This process was initially expected to take place on May 7, but was postponed to June 24 because the judge was not yet done with her summing up. However, when the case was called today on June 24, the court proceedings could not continue due to the jury strike. Justice Lidio Saimafu described the strike by the jurors as unfortunate during Monday's court session.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Do you have a game-changing and innovative business idea or project that can impact the society? This is your moment. Total Energies presents the 4th edition of the Startupper of the Year Challenge. This year, we are looking for 3 winners. The best entrepreneur, also called the InnovUp winner. The best project or innovative business idea that exemplifies the principle of recycling and minimizing waste, also called the Cycle Up winner. And the best project that promotes or relates to sustainable and affordable energies, also called the Power Up winner. And that's not all. 4 additional projects in the Power Up category will be selected by an international jury. Don't wait any longer. Apply at www.startupper.totalenergies.com for a chance to win financial support, professional mentorship, and a spotlight for your project. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey,
I asked him to buy me original politics.
Hey, please don't make mistake. Talk to Papa. Open your back, man. And you politics no girl. Papa.
Papa, can ruffle.
The politics is original, the first and the best.
What is? Ukota also pet dear acrobat to use me.
Politics, yes.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the Details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Inu Safo. Let's settle for the details. Stakeholders within the agricultural sector have rejected the government's policy to reserve 5% of produce as buffer from the Planting for Food and Job Phase 2. They want the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to focus on providing the available inputs to farmers to commence production, as they believe the implementation of the PFJ2 has been long overdue. One of the stakeholders, Dr. Charles Nyaba, the immediate past executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, argues that such a policy from government is not a priority.
We are in the middle of the season and we are not hearing any. For you to only come and tell us that the inputs you are going to provide, you gather the food and then 5% stock for emergency purpose. When farmers are already producing and no action is taking place. So we think government should be more serious if they actually want to ensure that there is enough food. There's more serious in implementing the program, ensuring that the inputs are getting into the farmers. We are even saying that this whole thing, this whole talk is needless. Government only need to reduce taxes on inputs that we buy. Once you reduce taxes and then the input prices come down, we will produce them ourselves and put them in the market. You continue to put in taxes, increasing input prices. Government are not able to procure. Production is going down, and you are there talking long short. That will not help us.
That was Dr. Charles Nyaba, the immediate past executive director and member of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. On the other hand, the General Agricultural Workers Union has called for further interrogation of the 5% reservation of produce from the PFJ2. Edward Karwe is the General Secretary of GAU.
They may claim that they have got warehouses in some areas of the country, so they store it there. Before you store food, you need to process it. The foodstuffs that they talk about storing, they need to process it. Who is going to do the processing? Are they buying the foodstuffs or picking the foodstuffs from the farm gate, or the farmers have to transport it to where the warehouse is? Is the ministry now going to engage in transportation activities whereby they have their own vehicles or they will rent vehicles that will transport the foodstuffs from the farm gate to where their stores are? Or that is going to be borne by the farmers? And apart from that, when they store these foodstuffs, who is going to bring these foodstuffs to the urban centers?
You heard the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Karwe. On the back of the 2021 Population and Housing Census, which revealed that 7.9 million Ghanaians aged 6 years and older cannot read nor write with understanding in any language, the Ghana Statistical Service is set to conduct the 8th round of the Ghana Living Standards Survey with a strong focus on learning poverty. GLSS 8, which will cover 1,170 clusters and involve over 25,000 households nationwide, is scheduled to begin in July 2024. The data collection phase will run from September 2024 to September 2025, followed by data analysis and report writing, with final results expected by July 2026. Speaking to the media on the sidelines of the launch of the survey, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobene shared the objectives of the survey.
Generally has a very broad focus because it's the data set that we use for rebasing our consumer price index, rebasing our gross domestic product, and trying to get an understanding of the various dimensions of living conditions, i.e. employment, health-related issues, migration-related issues. But for the 8th round of the GLSS 8, we're especially focusing on learning poverty on the back that from the 2021 Population Housing Census, we identified 7.9 million people who could not read or write in any language with understanding. So we are focusing on learning poverty for the 8th round of the Ghana Living Standards Survey. That is why we've collaborated with the Ministry of Education to ensure that there's comparability between the National Standardized Test and the learning poverty model that we're going to have in the 8th round of the Living Standards Survey.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobene there. Energy sector players are urging the National Petroleum Authority to develop workable plans that will ensure the reflection of benefits from the anticipated drop in oil prices in 2025. This comes amidst predictions from leading global investment bank Citigroup indicating that oil prices will experience a decline from $85 to $60 per barrel next year. Here is more.
Media reports indicate that early on Friday, the international benchmark Brent crude traded above $85 per barrel, while the US benchmark WTI crude stood above $82 per barrel, driven by supply-demand imbalances in the oil market. Although oil demand is expected to remain strong in the third quarter of the year, concerns exist that the growth may continue further in the fourth quarter, leading to a decline in prices. Citigroup's latest forecast suggests oil prices could drop into the $70 range later this year, with further decreases to the $60 range in 2025 due to sufficient stock accumulation. Energy sector stakeholders believe these developments will positively impact African countries, including Ghana. In an interview with Citi Business News, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana emphasized the importance for the MPA to formulate effective plans to ensure these benefits are fully realized.
Consumers struggle to take advantage of that because I believe the right policies have not been put in place to be able to create the right environment for consumer to benefit. We need to be able to have a workable plan to be able to cascade benefits when required. When oil prices are going up, or the benefits, we should be able to have a way of cushioning the downstream. And when the oil prices are coming down also, the regulator to ensure that the market is fair enough to let it reflect within the market. And so if that should happen and we are able to balance much of our upstream and downstream to let it support each other, I think we'll be in an excellent position to be able to benefit when the oil prices take the bearish turn. Other than that, benefit will always be elusive.
You heard energy consultant Dr. Yusuf Sulemana ending that report by Daniel Ojuru-Mensah. Entrepreneurs within the SME space have been admonished to adopt proactive management strategies and principles to ensure their sustainability and competitiveness. According to coordinator of the MBA Program for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at UPSA, Dr. Andrews Ayuku, this will help SMEs also meet the evolving needs of customers. Speaking on the topic, strategic sales management on the first day or the final week of the City Business Festival 2024 on-air series, Dr. Andrews Ayuku highlighted areas SMEs should focus on to develop a positioning strategy.
When you look at the strategic sales management, there are 4 C's I want to consider first: the cost, the customer, the convenience, and the communication. Okay. Anytime you are thinking about strategically selling anything, think about the customer. What are the customer needs? Secondly, think about the cost. What is the cost involved in delivering the services to the customer? The customer thinks about price when he thinks about cost. So strategically, how do I think about the various pricing channels? Am I using psychological pricing or scheming pricing to sell? The next one is convenience. Things are difficult and people want to enjoy the convenience of buying from you. So don't make it difficult. Are you accessible? And then finally, how are you communicating to them?
Dr. Andrews Ayuku also stated how small and medium-sized businesses can leverage the use of digital tools to grow.
The social media strategy is a strategic document that tells who you post to, on what channel are you posting, on what platform are you posting, and what content strategy are you going to use. So before you even post anything on your WhatsApp or on your Instagram, realize that on Instagram, people are interested in testimonials, short videos, something short. So develop a social media calendar. Have a content strategy. When you have a content strategy, you don't wake up in the morning and just post that you are not well. One of the things also when it comes to content strategy now, that things are quite difficult, is to realize that you are not just selling, you are educating and advising customers. So know your awareness strategy.
Dr. Andrews Ayuku is a coordinator of the MBA Program for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at UPSA. The City Business Festival 2024 is powered by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Absa Bank and is sponsored by MTN Business, Gersel, AMG Fertilizer, Insano Limited and Agri Impact Limited. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Do you have a game-changing and innovative business idea or project that can impact the society? This is your moment. Total Energies presents the 4th edition of the Startupper of the Year Challenge. This year, we are looking for 3 winners. The best entrepreneur, also called the InnovUp winner. The best project or innovative business idea that exemplifies the principle of recycling and minimizing waste, also called the Cycle Up winner. And the best project that promotes or relates to sustainable and affordable energies, also called the Power Up winner. And that's not all. 4 additional projects in the Power Up category will be selected by an international jury. Don't wait any longer. Apply at www.startupper.totalenergies.com for a chance to win financial support, professional mentorship, and a spotlight for your project. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a contractor, builder, or a proud homeowner with an eye for quality and security? Well, look no further than Yale. Yale is the trusted name in security for over 180 years. When it comes to securing your home or business, trust Yale. We make security simple, and we're right here in the heart of Accra, Ghana. Visit our stunning showroom on 11th Lane Street in Osu, Accra, and discover a world of premium Yale products, including door hardware, handles, and door locks that will elevate the security and style of your space. Whether you're building from scratch or renovating, Yale has the perfect solution for you. Our products are known for their durability, innovation, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit us today and experience the Yale difference. Your security, our priority. Yale, locking in your peace of mind.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandama. Tonight on Point Blank, we'll take you to London in the UK, where the Vice President and the NPP presidential candidate is on a campaign trail doing a fundraiser of a sort. He is there with a number of government officers, including the Attorney General and also the Minister of Finance. Now, the Minister of Finance spoke about a number of issues about the economy and the measures that have been put in place to turn the economy around. Let's listen to the Honorable Mohammed Amin Anta.
Honorable Minister will take the other 2 questions.
Okay. So the first question, gold for oil. How is the gold trading being done? And so you know that we have huge potential in gold production in Ghana. And in the past, when the gold is produced, whether from the large-scale producers or from the small-scale producers, they exported everything. The dollars that they get from the sale of gold, never all of them came back to our economy, except what we term as the retention portion of the forex. But that was not helping our economy. And so, through the direction of our flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the government directed the Bank of Ghana to start what we call a gold purchase program, domestic gold purchase program, which meant that we were no longer going to allow the producers of gold to take the gold out, except that they agreed to sell a portion of the gold to us in our local currency. And this was one of the measures we brought in to address the depreciation of our city, to strengthen our city, so that we trade in our gold in our own local currency, rather than the dollars, the gold going out and the dollars never coming back to our economy, and through that weakening our city. you know that if you have to strengthen the cedi, then we must have more dollars in the economy so that the dollar becomes weaker relative to the cedi. But when your dollars that should come in are all leaving the country, the cedi becomes weaker because there is scarcity of the dollar in the market. And so to address this, the gold purchase program was introduced. So Bank of Ghana started buying gold from the large producers and also from the small-scale producers in cedis. As a result of this, they started building up their reserves. Every central bank has reserves. They were only building dollar reserves, but today, because of the gold purchase program, Bank of Ghana has gold reserves. Countries like the United States of America, UK, they all have gold reserves. So for the first time, we've increased the size of our gold reserves from under 100 million United States dollars to almost 2.4 billion US dollar worth of gold. That is through the gold purchase program. Then we also realized that prices of petroleum products were increasing on the market. And we attributed this to the fact that the bulk distribution companies that brought in the oil, they bought the oil in dollars and they have to sell it on our market, the domestic market, in cedis. And therefore, the dollar price is priced into the domestic price of petroleum products. Therefore, the prices of petroleum products were increasing. But also, because of the scarcity of dollars, the bulk distribution companies usually will use what we call forward pricing. They will say, for example, that if the dollar to the cedi is 10 cedis to the dollar today, by the time their oil will come onto the market, they expected that the cedi to the dollar will be, let's say, 15 cedis to a dollar. So they will use 15 cedis to price the domestic petroleum product and not 10 cedis. And so you saw that the prices of petroleum products increasing all the time. And so again, Dr. Baumia said that once the Bank of Ghana is doing gold purchases, why don't we introduce gold for oil? Which meant that we will buy the gold with cedis. The Bank of Ghana will give it to a trader. The trader will give us dollars. But the trader, we can use the dollars to then bring in oil. Or if you have a trader who will give us oil directly, we will take the oil in exchange for the gold. So in that sense, the bulk distribution companies will no longer go out and buy oil in dollars and bring it into the country and sell to us at prices with forward exchange rate. So that was the policy for gold for oil. And so we have been trading. Bank of Ghana has brokers. They give the gold to, and then the brokers will supply the dollars. The dollars will then be used to build their reserves. Secondly, Bank of Ghana will give the gold to oil traders, and the oil traders will give us direct oil, direct to us, so that we avoid the forex impact on the prices of petroleum on the market. And when we did that, petroleum prices that had increased to 26 cedis per liter went down significantly to 13 cedis per liter. And since then, it has not crossed 15 cedis. It came down from 26 cedis. Since last year, the beginning of 2023, from that time up till now, the price of petroleum have not crossed 15. That is the pragmatism with which the MPP government handles things in the economy. New ideas coming all the time. And through the instrumentality of our flag bearer, we are doing this, and it is helping the Ghanaian economy. The second question was on tax amnesty for local manufacturers. Really, at this time, this stage of the economy, this year, we are unable to grant tax amnesty because the budget that we are running was passed in November. And therefore, all the projections for revenue and expenditure already approved by Parliament. And so to grant tax amnesty will mean that we may not be able to meet our revenue target. Because at the time we did the budget, we knew those who had not paid their taxes at the right time, and therefore the penalties they have to pay for delayed tax payment. All of them were factored into the revenue for the year. That is why tax amnesty may not be possible this year, because we need to be able to meet our revenue target and our expenditure target, so we do not move away from the fiscal path that we have negotiated during the passage of the budget. But what does tax amnesty means? It means that if you were to pay your taxes in January and you decided to pay in, let's say, March, you have to pay penalty for the delayed payment of your taxes. So by tax amnesty, we are saying that come and pay the normal tax. The penalty is waived for you. That is what we mean by the amnesty in the case of what we are doing in Ghana. Amnesty could mean other things in other countries. They could say that for those who have not paid taxes for 3 years, we have forgiven you. You won't pay those taxes any longer. Come and let's start afresh. For others, as we have been doing in Ghana, it is a waiver of penalties that you have to pay for non-payment of your taxes for some time. Dr. Bawumia has announced that he will introduce a flat tax rate system, which is practiced in Estonia, is practiced in any other countries. Brings predictability. It's also easy to calculate. Our current system in Ghana is so complex. And as I speak to you, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has asked me to lead a tax reform in Ghana that will seek to the simplification of all the tax laws and regulations in our country. And so we are looking at the tax laws. We want to simplify taxes. For example, it is no longer possible to assess people for their tax liability on the basis of face-to-face assessment. It's no longer appropriate, because we found that tax collectors have become too discretionary. And so when they do the assessment, there is some discretion there. And this is why we are not meeting our revenue targets most of the time. We are introducing a faceless tax assessment system, under which the tax collector and the taxpayer will not see each other. We are introducing it in Ghana this year, so that we can do faceless taxes and people will pay the true value of the taxes they are supposed to give to the state. Because without taxes, we cannot develop our country. We can't develop the country. We will continue to borrow and borrow and borrow ourselves out of the economy. But as our president has said, the Ghana Beyond Aid policy is to ensure that we are able to manage our own economic affairs. As I speak to you, because we've had to go to the IMF, because we are relying on World Bank money, the conditionalities we have to meet sometimes are very hurting. They hurt our people. They say, cut down expenditure. Don't spend in this sector. We have to move beyond that. That is where Dr. Bawumia is taking us to. When he says that when he becomes president, immediately in the first year, he will cut expenditure by 30 billion Ghana cedis. He's not going to cut the expenditure by saying, I will spend 30 billion Ghana cedis. What he's saying is that he's going to partner with the private sector. The private sector will take over what normally the public sector will do, and the 30 billion cedis will go to the private sector. So we need to empower the private sector by government providing more money to the private sector. The private sector will take over the infrastructure development of our country, and government will pay for those services. They are able to manage it, they are able to maintain it, unlike government, where government puts up infrastructure with so much money, you are not able to manage and maintain it. After 3 years, they go bad. And you have to come and do the project again. That is the new policy he's bringing. I'll give you an example about Get Fund. Get Fund, for example, takes money from all Ghanaians, levies, and it's to be used to support educational development, including infrastructure development. Now we know that in all our universities, things are commercialized there. People pay for accommodation, isn't it? They pay, just as they do here. The policy on Get Fund going forward will then be for the allocation to universities. Use it and take equity in private investment. In other words, we are going to invite you, the private people, come and build hostels on our university campuses. And GetFund will put their allocation for tertiary into those projects as equity. GetFund will no longer build residential facilities. Private people will do. And GetFund will rather take equity. And that equity will continue to generate money for GetFund. And so we haven't done the hostels. The money we have invested, we are getting returns on that. And GetFund can then use that money to support the basic level of education. That is one of the private sector policies Dr. Bawumia wants to bring. And so coming back to the issue of tax amnesty, when he declares tax amnesty, we are yet working on the details. It could be that all those who have not paid their taxes in the past, we forgive you. But that is dangerous for the economy, isn't it? Because when we do that, then people will start defaulting on taxes this year. Because they know that Dr. Bawumia will come and say, I've forgiven you. So we may have to rather work on the penalty side in order to cushion the people of Ghana a bit so that we can get the revenue this year to be able to meet our development objectives. So I thank you. So on tax compliance, I already mentioned one of the measures we are putting in place to improve tax compliance. That is the faceless assessment. Faceless assessment. We're also trying to simplify the tax filing system. Because we think that people are not filing their taxes. And it is because it is not easy, it's complex. You even go to tax collectors to file your tax system and you are frustrated. There is no education on where people even go. And so we are digitalizing also the tax filing, the filing of your returns, so that you can sit in your room and file your tax returns. That's another way of improving compliance. But also, we've noticed that people do not understand our tax system generally. And some people have differential levels of understanding. And so we have decided that we will have to do mass education on our tax system. This July, I have set it aside as the tax education month. In other words, tax sensitization month, July, every July. I'm going to lead the entire tax staff of our country to the field, moving from company to company, from market to market, to educate people on our tax system and what steps people need to take to pay their taxes, what steps people need to take to file their tax returns. But above all, we have decided as part of the education to mount billboards across the country showing the people what their taxes are being used for. The greatest measure you can introduce to improve tax compliance is for people to know that when they pay the taxes are not wasted. When they pay the taxes, you can account for the taxes they are paying. And so very soon, we have taken videos and photos of iconic projects, key projects that have been done by the government. And we are going to place them at vantage points across the country. Your tax working for you, written all over. So that people know that we don't take the taxes and throw the taxes somewhere. We use the taxes to develop, to provide educational infrastructure, health infrastructure, road infrastructure. So these are some of the measures that we are introducing. But since I have to talk about the utilization of taxes, it is important I also draw your attention to what your government has done with the taxes we have collected so far. I can't give you everything. I'll just give you a few comments on that. Hopefully that will inform you better. Number one, even with the difficulties we are facing today, COVID, Russia, Ukraine war, the whole world suffering from these issues. Your government is growing the Ghanaian economy. The Ghanaian economy is growing every day. The NDC says we are not developing, that nothing is happening. And I just want to give you a few figures on what is happening. So in 2022, the size of our economy, what we call GDP, gross domestic product, was 614 billion Ghana cedis. In 2023, the size of the economy was 841 billion Ghana cedis. From 614 to 841 billion Ghana cedis, just 2022 and 2023. If the government is doing nothing, the economy will not grow. And of course, it's not only the government, the private sector is also doing a lot. Those of you who are sending remittances, to Ghana, you are all contributing to this economic growth. During the NDC time, the GDP contracted. 2015, 2016, the GDP contracted. In dollar terms, from $64 billion to $60 billion. What happened with the MPP? We took it from the $60 billion, and by the end of 2023, the size of the GDP was $80 billion. Nana Akufo-Addo and your government added $20 billion to the size of the economy. In fact, this year, 2024, Ghana is going to cross the 1 trillion Ghana cedi mark in terms of the size of the GDP. We are going to take it from 841 billion to 1.2 trillion Ghana cedis. That is an economy that is growing in spite of all the challenges that we are talking about. And this is reflecting in our standards of living. What we call per capita income. If they were to distribute Ghana's money, Ghana's GDP amongst us, how will we share it? It increased. In 2016, it was 7,000 Ghana cedis. By 2018, it increased to 9,800 Ghana cedis. By the end of 2023, it increased to 25,000 Ghana cedis. In dollar terms, we have increased the per capita income from $1,800 in 2016 to $2,400 by the end of 2023. That is an economy that is growing. And so if somebody tells you we are doing nothing, please tell the person to go and see the figures. For per capita income alone, from 1,800 to 2,400, is no mean achievement. Now we come to what we call social interventions. We are not leaving the poor out. We are supporting the vulnerable segments of our society. LEAP, Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty. We've doubled the spending. By 2022, we were spending 197 million Ghana cedis on LEAP, which goes to the most vulnerable segment, our old men and old ladies in our homes who are doing nothing and they need to be supported. This year, we are spending 770 million Ghana cedis on LEAP. Same thing, school feeding program. Last year, we spent 800 million Ghana cedis on school feeding program. This year, we are spending 1.4 billion Ghana cedis on school feeding program. So even with the difficulties that every country is faced with, our government continues to allocate more resources to support the people of our country. And finally, before I respond to the next question, this year, our economy is going to surprise the whole world. Nana Akomia said it earlier when our president said, we know how to bring the economy back, but we do not know how to bring lives back. That was at the height of COVID. He said it. We know how to bring the economy back. Before then, our economy was growing average 8%. And it was one of the highest growing economy in the world. 8%. Inflation was single digit. And the MPP government is credited for having the longest period of a single digit in 2018 and 2019 in the history of Ghana. Our fiscals were contained. We had surpluses. But because we knew how to bring the economy back, we did not know how to bring lives back. We had to pause at a point, and we borrowed, and we spent heavily on COVID. The net effect of the spending we did on COVID was 21 billion Ghana cedis. Apart from spending 14 billion Ghana cedis directly, we lost revenue of about 7 billion Ghana cedis. But I can tell you that this economy is rebounding strongly. We are rebounding strongly, and it's surprising the world. Even the IMF, the World Bank, they are all surprised. Last year, they projected our economy will grow at 1.5%. We grew at 2.9%. This year, in the first quarter of this year, they projected we will grow at 3.1%. We grew at 4.7%. In the NDC time, for 3 consecutive years, manufacturing was negative for us as well. But I can tell you, in the first quarter, manufacturing has turned positive. And the growth in the first quarter is fueled by industry. Industry alone grew 6.8%. And so there is hope. The manufacturing sector is coming back. We are going to continue to create jobs in addition to the 2 million jobs that we have created already. This economy will grow, and it will grow faster than everybody thinks. By the end of this year, we are supposed to grow at 3.2%. But
the prediction from the Finance Minister, Dr. Amin Adam, speaking in the UK, having followed the Vice President on a fundraising tour. That would be it for Eyewitness News tonight. My name is Umaru Sanda Amado. I did this with Eno Safo, production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafe. The technical support from Daniel Squashi, new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.